Hey, beautiful souls. If you're new here, I'm Shayna, a fellow supermom slash spiritual empowerment coach, helping other supermoms, specifically women of color, discover joy, fulfillment, and purpose, even in the midst of the chaos. Today, we're going to talk about the invisible scars we carry and the hidden dangers of ignoring them or just not really being aware of how they affect our lives. Now, I know a lot of us are busy. Trust me, I get it. Between work, taking care of kids, and trying to keep our marriage together and maybe squeezing in 5 minutes for self care, it feels like there's no room left to focus on ourselves. And when you do, it's often on the surface level. We're getting our nails done, hair done, everything did, okay? But what do I mean by invisible scars? I'm sure you may have somewhat of an understanding of what they are. They're not the kind you can see. They don't show up as bruises or scrapes, but they're just as real. These are the emotional wounds, the mental scars, the spiritual blocks that many of us carry from our past. Maybe it's trauma from childhood, societal expectations weighing us down, toxic relationships you've stayed in too long, or even the overwhelming pressure to be perfect. Many of us have been taught to push these feelings aside. Keep going, don't cry, you're stronger than this, stop complaining. Does any of that sound familiar to anyone? We've been conditioned to think that strength means suppressing our pain, but all that really does is leave scars that grow deeper, unhealed, and start showing up in unexpected places. Especially women of color, it's like a badge of honor to be strong. Look at the Black heroes of our lifetime: Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Angela Davis. I can go on, but you see the pattern here. A common spiritual block that I witness in women of color is that we have to be strong all the time. And here's the thing, when we ignore these invisible scars and those kind of mental blocks, they don't just go away. In fact, they fester. Those mental blocks cause us to surround ourselves with people that have that same energy and who will solidify those thoughts. Group psychology 101. You're going to want to be around people you have things in common with. So it makes sense that those same people will only validate those negative thoughts, even if they are not true. And with invisible scars, they are external signs that come up with your life. Maybe you've noticed you snap more at your kids, or your patience with your partner is thinner than it used to be. You feel disconnected from yourself, and that can lead to feeling stuck emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's like carrying around a backpack full of rocks every day. It can weigh heavy. Come on, bag lady, you know you gonna hurt your back. And the real danger, ignoring these scars doesn't just affect you. It ripples into every part of your life, your energy, your relationships, your parenting, even your health. Think of it like a deep, dirty ass cut you never cleaned. Eventually, it's going to get infected, okay? I remember when I first had my daughter, I was a single mom. I was struggling to work and pay for daycare and all the other bills coming my way. It was hard to focus on engaging with my newborn and focusing on just being present. I had days when I'd cry while holding her at night because all I could think about is how could I continue down this path and raise my daughter with everything she deserved. I felt a lot of pressure. These invisible scars have a sneaky way of showing up in our everyday lives. Maybe it's in the form of anxiety that you just can't shake, or those sleepless nights where your mind is racing with a million worries. Or maybe you find yourself constantly people pleasing, saying yes when you really want to say no, but you're afraid of being seen as a bad mom or a wife or just the Black girl that has an attitude. You carry that fear of judgment. You carry the burden of past mistakes or guilt, and it's eating away at your life, your joy, your fulfillment. And let's not forget how we numb ourselves by throwing ourselves into work, scrolling endlessly on social media, or zoning out with Netflix because it's easier than dealing with what's really going on inside. And don't get me wrong, I love a good Netflix binge. Sometimes it's needed to regroup. But the longer we ignore these scars, the more we disconnect from ourselves and from those we love. It's like we're wearing armor, and while that armor might protect us from feeling the pain, it also blocks us from feeling the joy. We don't fully experience love, happiness, or contentment because we built walls to keep out the hurt, or maybe it's keep the hurt inside, very deep. And you might think, I'll deal with it later. Right now, my family needs me. But if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't start healing those invisible wounds, it will catch up with us. Burnout, exhaustion, and resentment are real, and they're waiting for us just around the corner if we keep pushing these feelings down. And I know you know this. I know you're familiar with this. I'm preaching to the choir right now because I know you understand how important it is to do the inner work and do the deep healing. I'm here to empower you to get there, okay? So, how do we start healing? How do we tend to these invisible scars? First, we're going to have to acknowledge that they're even there, create awareness around them. We have to be brave enough to say, I'm not okay, and that's all right. We deserve that grace. You don't have to be perfect. And then start small. Begin by carving out just a few minutes each day for yourself, whether it's journaling, meditating, or just sitting in silence, whatever allows you to check in with your inner self. And if you're feeling up to it, start exploring those feelings that you've buried. Ask yourself, why do I feel stuck? What have I been ignoring? Why do I feel so anxious right now? And if it feels overwhelming, that's okay too. Healing isn't a race, it's a journey. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just sit with your emotions and allow yourself to feel them without judgment. This is where true strength lies. And remember, your whole life is not about trying to do better and be better and reach these crazy milestones. Don't rush it. Try your best to be present with your loved ones. Try your best to be present with things that you find enjoyable. I know it can be difficult because I can't stress enough, your brain, whenever you're feeling these fears or this level of anger or resentment, your brain is thinking, oh shit, I'm not safe. You're not safe. We need to figure out how to keep you safe. And what your brain will do is go into the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. And that could be possibly making excuses or trying to just completely avoid it. So keep that in mind when you're going through these feelings, that if things come up and you just rather go clean the house or you just rather watch Netflix or whatever it is that you can do to avoid or whatever, you have to recognize what's happening with your brain. It is a normal response. Your brain treats it like a life-threatening situation. And I want y'all to remember that you're not alone in this. Reach out for support, whether it's through therapy, coaching, or your sisterhood of fellow supermoms. We can't do it all on our own, and we shouldn't have to. There's no shame in asking for help or guidance or just a safe space to vent without judgment. If you need that safe space to start your healing journey, I'm here for you. And so is this community. We're all in this together. You deserve to feel safe and secure and to be happy because when you heal, mama, the whole family feels it. Okay. So as you go through this week, I want you to remember you are not defined by your past wounds, but by how you choose to heal from them. Take that first step. Your future self, your children, and even your partner will thank you. All right, ladies, if this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. I am sending you all the love on your journey. Until next time, remember, you are divine, you are worthy, and you are enough. Ashe.